Welcome to a podcast capturing the antics of two geeks who talk about video game culture and influence, both old and new, all through chaotic banter and tangential tangents that make no sense. My name is Mask. Hope you'll get me a taco. This is my pal Red.
Blow your ass up with my experiments.
And together we make the Reddmasq Podcast. This is episode 4.
30th anniversary. I'm not aware of that yet, so you'll have to show me.
Oh yeah,
that.
we gotta actually watch that together.
God.
There's gonna be like a podcast where like the original developers of Radical Dreamers are gonna be all together doing this.
Oh shit, Radical Dreamers even.
Yeah, that's where it started.
I thought that was like after Chrono Trigger.
It's the visual novel adventure follow-up from the Satellaview.
Yeah, I remember that much.
Yes.
I remember it was on the Satellaview.
It's gonna be a Christmas event right here. Hiyori, Sakaguchi, and Torishima all together again, like rock stars.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that poor game director. I found the thread that they followed up, like, where the devs went and where the team members went for the Chrono Trigger release. This one, Hiroki Chiba, no. They went on to World of Final Fantasy, which is actually pretty good. But Masato Kato, unfortunately, went on to... No, wait, no. I'm fucking reading wrong. I took my glasses off, and they're fucking dirty.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Chibi Robo Ziplash and We Play Motion.
No!
Kita Ito. What a fucking career. Poor
No,
guy.
not Chibi Robo Ziplash. No!
Chibi Robo Ziplash is a nightmare of a game. Have you seen the Scott video on that?
No, all I know...
It's probably the best one. He freaks out just like Chugga does at Sticker Star. I highly recommend it.
Understandable. I know Chibi Robo because I remember seeing it in Nintendo Power. I remember going to my family video to look for the game to rent, and I asked the person. My dad asked the person at the front desk, "Hey, do you have Chibi Robo?" I was like, "I've never heard of that game in my life, and we do not have it." And so I eventually did find it and buy it. Like I had to buy the game, and it was. I never beat it because I'm a fucking pussy and a coward, and I get scared easily.
Mm-hmm.
I did
by the spy doors, like the main antagonists, or is it just like the weird, creepy talking toys?
It was the antagonist creeping me out.
Oh yeah, the spiders were fucking freaky. I love the game as a kid. I had it growing up. I owned it. I had Nintendo Powers with it. It was enchanting, and I really fucking hate the gambling minigame. Please give me half of my life back. That thing will actually make or break your run, because you just gamble your way to getting enough money to revive Giga Robo.
Amazing.
It's one way to do it, but you're going to be missing out on the whole game that way. You've got to see the rest of the household and help the family, you know. Chibi Robo was a great game, and it never had a follow-up that met those heights after that.
I love the cooking minigame. The cooking minigame where you have to help them cook burgers.
I was the worst at that when I was like 11. I would always just like have one side of the patty. I didn't know the spoon let you flip it. So they would always be burned on one side and raw on the other.
You fucking dumbass.
I have murdered this family multiple times through food poisoning.
No.
God. If you have a chance to like play Park Patrol... Just play that, because that is probably
I remember seeing the enemies from Park Patrol and being like equally freaked out by it.
Yeah, it's a little bit unsettling, I would say. Yeah.
They're weird ass like ball faces. It's like ugh.
Every other game in the series after that, you're probably better off just skipping. There's a Japanese exclusive like 3DS game that's pretty good, but like never got a translation over here. I'm not sure if there's a fan translation. Let me look that up. Oh, there is. GBA temp. Let's see. This patch will make the game 100% English, though it's still in beta and translation errors are likely. It requires a ROM of the original to be used. You can apply it by following the instructions of the README found on the GitHub project, or by using... So yeah, actually, 2015 there was a patch for... Okay, Chibi Robo, Happy Rich Osuji, which roughly translates to... Chibi Robo Clean Sweep.
I think I got my rank to like 3 in Chibi Robo just by virtue of cleaning up random. I think I started like abusing some goofy thing where it's like every time you let yourself if you use the special ability of the fucking like, oh, I've injured myself and I'm going to kill myself and get brought back to my thing. I use that to clean up the tears of the TV man.
Oh yeah, Telly. You could just collapse as like one of the costumes, I believe.
It was the bandage costume, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, has anyone like gone up to the ceiling to actually get those like hidden doors up there with like the stepladder power-ups?
God, I don't
I
know.
remember doing that once, and the amount of energy it took was just like I had to plug in twice to actually get up there. That was like definitely not worth it, but it
I
was
mean,
cool.
yeah, the ultimate like, oh yeah, have a goofy ass power up that doesn't really matter because you wasted your time getting up here.
Mm-hmm.
Better or worse than getting all the Korok seeds and getting a golden turd?
It's definitely arguably better.
Because it's actually something that can be used.
Yeah. Unlike all 900 Korok seeds, it just made everyone want to burn the Koroks in the follow-up game.
Yeah, yeah, haha, you found me. Puts you in the contraption.
Good God, the contraption. Oh yeah, my computer's back up. I got the motherboard installed. It was actually like really easy. Gigabyte actually had it like mostly assembled. There's no like backplate like with the MSI board. The thing is 2 times as heavy. It feels like it's twice as quality though. Like, I mean, when I was installing it, it's inside the computer. I'll never get to like see it again or anything, but unless I look at the back of it. But like, it's there. It works arguably better than the last one does, and I'm not having any issues that I was before with my PC. Unfortunately, I had to reinstall Windows again, so that was annoying. But we're back in business.
Amazing.
If it breaks again, I have a warranty, so fuck you. Oh, and on that topic, I actually did get to play Tribes 3 because the public beta is going to go offline 15 minutes ago, according to this.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, so I got a chance to play that. It feels really good to play. The air momentum is great and on point. The class distribution is nice, although there's some weapons that I feel like should go to other classes, like the light class getting the basically the infiltrator's like triple bomb sort of gun that he has. I feel like that should go to like the medium weight because that one also has like the sticky bombs and things for like generator assault. Uh
Right.
I don't feel like I should back up too much, but like Tribes is just like a 5v5 capture the flag sort of game, but also has pubs mode where it's like 12v12 and it's casual and it's just fun and just a good time to just ski around the hills and stuff.
Everything I'm aware of tribes is people talking about the movement of tribes as sin. So it's like it's just
Yes.
Tiny Wings, which is that one that was like the mobile game where you control a little bird that can't really fly on its own, so you have to use the physics to hold down on a ramp, then let go when you go off the ramp or go up to like build up speed and go goofy far.
That's kind of the idea of just like pathfinding is like no, Pathfinder the class is like the ideal for that sort of thing. You want to just make sure that you're going fast enough to cap the flag so that nobody else gets to shoot you while you're running away with it. Bring back to your own base,
Yep.
score 5 points to win. Also, like the class-based gameplay is just like really interesting because like you have heavies that just if someone else runs into you, they will actually take damage. You have snipers. You have classes that focus on repairing the equipment around your base. There's no vehicles yet, but they will get to putting those in. They just haven't been implemented just yet. But in the matches I had online, it was really nice. One thing that I'm noticing compared to other Star Siege Tribes games is just like the jetpacks are a lot snappier now, but they also burn more fuel.
Amazing.
So it's harder to set up high to low caps. For those that don't know, that's just like you find a hill, you go all the way up that hill, and then just you're at your apex of your height. Hopefully, no one's gonna shoot you up there. If they have a good sniper, they're probably gonna see you. Go down the hill, you'll probably hit like 400 speed units, and then just like fly through the flag, bring it back to your base, and there you go.
At the apex of your height, you become a legend.
God, can we not? I don't want to talk about Final Fantasy again today.
Was it? What do you mean, Final Fantasy?
They're
This
having a
is Apex
crossover
Legends.
event.
Oh, right.
That's the only cool
God
thing
damn
that
it.
happened to that game in the past like 6 months. And I used to play a lot of that too, but
Who did you main?
I mained crypto.
I always took you for
Hacker
a
nerd.
crypto bro.
Fucking, I made a joke with my friends about playing NFT Ape Escape the other day because nobody wants to fucking have these things.
NFT ape. Oh, are you gonna start stealing people's apes?
Gotcha, you're mine.
I copy and paste. I print screen on your ape. It's now mine.
Fucking, if that doesn't make it into the show, it's going into the pre-roll.
The
Yeah, we have a format now. If you haven't caught on,
I caught on when I heard the fucking wake up DP joke.
I love making a thing out of a thing. I'm gonna make it even more of a thing every time.
I'll make you a thing.
Back to Tribes. Fantastic. Hopefully they'll open up more like public beta tests for this game, and I highly recommend it to anyone interested in just jumping back in and hasn't played like arena type shooters in a while, because this is technically the dying breed of nowadays. Like, you don't get like online team based shooters like you used to. It's gone the way of like Unreal Tournament. It's a ancient dinosaur of a genre, and I'm just glad it's back in some way with Tribes here.
Right.
It's
Shout
cool
outs
to
to
see.
Team Fortress 2.
Shouts to TF2. TF2 is still great, still there. You can still play it on the Steam Deck too.
Funniest game I never want to play in my life.
You just don't have enough hats. Or poses.
Yeah, that's it.
And dances.
Rest in peace, the hat economy, because of that one bug.
What happened to that, by the way? I never really was around for that. I was there with, like, the earbuds and, like, the trade servers and everything, and I traded my way to, like, getting a free game at some point. And the peak of my teenage years, like, that was, like, the pinnacle of just, like, you made it. You traded all this crap for something actually worth money.
Imagine free unusuals.
Right?
I think that's more than enough to tell you how fucked that made the economy.
I mean, just like one hat can't really just destabilize the entire system, can it? They literally hired at Valve. They hired economists.
No, shush.
Okay.
Free unusuals, as in you open a crate and got like the rate for unusuals was way too high, is what I'm saying.
Oh, someone played the numbers.
Hat market crash, also known as the Crate Depression, refers to a glitch which made rare hats in Team Fortress 2 that normally sell for $25 to $45 to spawn frequently, completely wrecking the game's hat economy.
Just like crashing an economic system in a video game.
Yeah,
I wish I had a history of that with like fucking RuneScape or World of Warcraft or even Wakfu when I played Wakfu.
No. Like, there is something we can go to for RuneScape. The purple party hat.
Okay.
The purple party hat, if I go to the wiki, because it was the most valuable one at the time of this glitch happening. Okay, here we go. I got this. The purple party hat was originally the most expensive of the party hats, but became the cheapest after the party hat duplication glitch. Before free trade, the street price was much higher than the GE price, giving the false impression that party hats sharply rose when free trade was reintroduced. The basic gist was that like an item duplication glitch was discovered. People used it to dupe the fuck out of the most valuable party hat, which was the purple one, which crashed the value of it. And also, that's why we are no longer allowed to trade holiday items, was because people abused that glitch, and Jagex basically saw that glitch, how people abused it, and were like, fine, no more trading holiday items, assholes. You lose.
Game over.
So now, all current holiday items are no longer tradable.
That's an interesting way to stop that. That never really happened with TF2. It was never really item duping. When you look at like game economics, like you'll find things like Pokemon, where everyone just kind of puts out whatever because most people just use PK Hex anyway, and there really was no economy to begin with actually trading the Pokemon. The cards are a whole different matter. Let's not talk about that.
No, I have something really funny. I got a very obviously hacked and like a. It was the trainer. The trainer ID was like this person's YouTube channel. So I knew it was hacked. It was generated, and I got it randomly using Wonder Trade. It was a shiny Alolan Raichu, but the only reason I kept it was because it has Surf and Fly, and I was like, you know what? That's a nice novelty, to be honest.
Surfing
to
Pikachu,
have.
Flying Pikachu, yeah.
Yeah, instead of just having one that has both. It's like, fuck it, I'll hold on to that. I'm not gonna use it, but it's neat to have. The idea that I have a Pokemon, a Pikachu Raichu that has Surf and Fly, because that's technically allowed because of the goofy bullshit they've done in the past. Yeah,
And
it's like,
that's
fuck
how
it,
we all say Alola.
like I've held on to it. I've not used it, but it's like I like it for the novelty. I only
Yeah.
got and I did. It was just sheer accident. I loved Wonder Trading to see what I would get in return, or like Wonder Trading a shiny that I got that was easy. Like I Wonder Traded multiple shiny Feebas with the item you give them that will evolve them,
Mm-hmm.
because outside of Gen 3 you have to trade them with an item to evolve them.
Right.
I used that, and I did that. I got 4 shiny Feebas. I kept one for myself because I would evolve it to a Milotic. I traded the other 3 out using Wonder Trade as a fun gift.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that sees that will probably really enjoy it. I actually was
Oh,
looking up like some of the medals for like Wonder Trade stuff in like current gen, and like there's actually a special medal you can get of like 1 out of 100 Wonder Trades will have the 1 in a million medal. Which, if you put that on like a shiny Pokemon, I mean, it's just more fun to kind of imagine if that would be like the ribbon it gets. It can actually use that role in battle. It's pretty cool.
I never realized the Wonder Trades could get ribbons.
When you send out the Pokemon, it says 1 in a million, but I think it's like a 1 in 100 chance of getting a special ribbon.
Oh, here we go. Once in a lifetime ribbon. A rare ribbon found extreme infrequently on Pokemon obtained in a surprise trade. 1 in 100 chance. The title is the you get to call it the 1 in a million Pokemon. You can give it the title of that.
That is what I was looking up there, yeah. And this is a great segue into our actual talk about like the new DLC in Scarlet and Violet right now, because my God, it's actually beautiful. I love it.
I have my own. I don't have it because I'm currently on my Pokemon burnout for like the third time in my life.
Right.
But like, what's
Only
got
three,
me
by the
is
way.
I mean, look, my periods last for several years. I started playing Pokemon as a 5-year-old where I couldn't read properly and constantly made goofy ass mistakes.
I started watching the anime when I was at that age, yeah, but my parents never let me have a video game till I was 6. So I got my first Pokemon game at 8.
My parents bought my older brother, and me a Game Boy Pocket at the same time. Basically, when that came out, I was like maybe 4, 5, 3, somewhere, some kind of toddler age.
Right.
I don't remember which. My brain when it comes to time is garbage. But I can remember exactly where I was at the time. I was in my old house, which I was in until I was 5. So I know that much. And that was when our parents got us both Game Boy Pocket, which is what we used to play our Game Boys. Because my older brother actually had the original Game Boy, but in a fit of rage, he broke it and the liquid leaked out
Uh,
because of that. Look, my brothers and I all have issues with our anger, so it's like
I have smashed a couple of Game Boys in my days. I think my parents bought me like 2 DS Lites because like I bit the top screen of one of them at some point. I don't remember why.
can one up you on the DS Lite damage.
Let's hear it. Let's hear how we break a Nintendium here, which is the unbreakable element that all Nintendo consoles are made of.
I mean, there's one part that would make sense. There's one part that makes sense you could break. There's the Dragon Quest Rocket Slime game. The first one, because the other two did not get localized. So I played the first one, and I lost to like a late game tank battle, and I got a fit of rage. I took my DS Lite and I snapped it in two off the hinge,
Ouch.
which makes sense because it's a hinge. It's not supposed to be that strong. It's supposed to let you facilitate opening and closing. So it makes sense that you could break that even if it's Nintendium. What that was basically my whole point, was just like, yeah, there's one part where it's like it makes sense, but like we all have anger management issues. It's not something I'm proud of.
We're all
But
works in
hey,
progress here. I mean, that's just you when you were younger. You're different now.
my fun fact right now is that my older brother is Benjamin Briggs. He makes music. Probably you may have heard of it, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I had to say.
All I have to say in reply to that is that sounds like you were fairly unhinged.
Shut the fuck up.
Never.
I'm mad that you made that. No.
Yes.
No.
This episode does not have a sponsor. We just want to bring people in to kind of take a look at the show, see what we have going on. If they like us, support us. Go to coffee.com/mask31 and check out our page, and feel free to consider donating. We are going to go ahead and talk about the Blueberry Academy and the whole kind of ethos they built around Kieran, the character. We're going to talk about how much of a love letter this whole DLC is to Gen 5. And we're going to talk about, like, how they're just kind of dumping rewards on the players. Oh, we're going to talk about a couple of the dumb things, too, like some of the legendary encounters.
Every legendary is shiny locked, even the returning ones. Go fuck yourselves. Why?
It's interesting because, like, people love the shiny hunt legendaries on Twitch just for viewers to just tune in, watch. One of my friends is really into this as well. And, like, he just does it with his friends. He doesn't do it on Twitch or anything. He's just, like, really into shiny hunting. And we've actually been, like, comparing stuff for, like, a year back and forth, which is cool, but...
I think in one of our episodes I made a joke that I shiny hunt my favorites. And I did shiny hunt a legendary once in Ultra Sun Ultra Moon. It was a Verizon. I got a shiny Verizon with base odds without realizing it.
Very lucky.
It took me like 200 soft resets. It was still lucky, but like...
Yeah. 200's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, for a 1 in 4,000 chance, that's nothing. But like, it's still like, I still had to work for it.
I've had many successful shiny hunts. I like my Reveroom, but like I've also had many failed ones. God dang it, Mewtwo in Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. I really wanted a shiny one there.
Remember the streamer who encountered shiny Mewtwo and then reset because he wasn't paying attention?
I think I recall that one, yeah. I think we could put that in the show notes because it was pretty much something there.
I remember that. It's like, man, it happened to him twice, and it was like, you really need to stop reading the goddamn chat when you're shiny hunting, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna miss it, and you're gonna be like, oh no, I could farm this for engagement. I'm gonna fucking suplex you, you stupid.
What type of suplex though?
The one that you can use on trains.
Okay, Sabin, got it.
So it's not called a suplex in the Japanese game, in the Japanese original. It's like, it's called Meteor Strike, which they did retranslate. They did translate properly when they like remade the game, which sucks because it's like, I missed the suplex.
I mean, it's cool because he had a fighting game gimmick, and that's how you did his moves too. It was like, it made sense.
Hit blitz, do the input, get good.
Yeah.
And it was like Final Fantasy VI was like the early form of a lot of like goofy shit that would happen mostly in like, I feel like it happens mostly in like Mario RPG where you get to do timed hits. You know, you have to do more than just choose the move, and people love that.
Yeah, real-time battle system sort of things kind of evolved in the years after that, but Final Fantasy VI was like a preview of all that. Yes. Back to Pokemon. Also, they've tried to IV lock 3 IVs for the actual legendaries that you can catch, despite being shiny locked, but they actually screwed that up too. They didn't even lock in a single IV. All the IVs you get, except for one, are 0.
Yeah, what's wild about this to me, that for the longest time, for several generations, they've had it so that every legendary you run into has 3 IVs that are guaranteed to be perfect. Somehow we get to the Scarlet Violet DLC, and suddenly they fucked it up, and now it's 5 IVs are locked to 0 instead of perfect.
It's hilarious.
Like, okay.
How could they have made this mistake? Where is the coding there? People are just speculating that.
What the hell did you do? What are you guys doing? You goofballs.
Yes.
It's like, I feel like I give Game Freak a lot of leniency because I'm aware of how they store each of the Pokemon and like all the bitwise functions they have to do. And I think about that and I'm like, yeah, no shit gets kind of buggy.
Not to mention that Game Freak
it's absurd to work.
Game Freak intentionally hires like beginner like devs or like devs at the start of their career because like, hey, that's where the best passion lies with people that love our company. And they give them a chance. It's great. I honestly don't have a problem with that. More people working on my favorite games is great.
Honestly, the more that I think about it, there was a joke that was like, people called Game Freak a poor indie dev. I think they're like a AA dev at best. They like, because if you look at their original games, it's like, yeah, this feels like it's AA more than AAA. It's
Well,
like
even looking at like Japanese work culture and everything, like Japanese game development is so diverse from like the American studios that call themselves AAA studios. Like the
yeah.
work culture there is more camaraderie based, and like there's its own sense of workplace politics. Don't get me wrong, but like in this country, if you do a great job on your project, you will probably get laid off by the end of it. The unfortunate truth.
You'll get laid off so corporate can take all the money you made for themselves.
Yeah.
We
The
we
game
we're
industry
record
is a cutthroat business. It's not fun because it's run like tech and it's scary.
It's run like dog shit.
It's run
Be
very poorly
real.
right now. Yeah, I'd
Like
be afraid to work in it. I agree.
I remember for one of my school I think it was like high school when we were doing like career shit. And I had to like look into a company to do a report on them and how good they are. I did my report on Amazon.
Oh no! Oh
So
no!
like but like what I was finding was like everything I was finding was like, yeah, Amazon blows. They're very cutthroat for no reason. They constantly act like they're in a what was the word? It was like a startup where they have to be like cutthroat as hell for no, and it's like that's no, you don't need to do that right now. You're Amazon. And it come years later when I'm finding out all this shit like, oh, Amazon workers, they have the crying box. They have to pee in their bottles. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's even more
oh.
horrifying than you initially thought.
Like realizing
It's
that
even
all that
bad for
shit
their tech workers. It's horrible.
I find it all now and it's like, oh yeah, there's the connection. Jesus Christ. So I
Yeah,
go from like being my basic ass like liberal bullshit, my like my parents' child, to being like, oh, I'm hyper aware of this shit now. Holy crap, this is hot garbage.
I am glad that some people are forming unions around this, if I recall.
Thank God, and I'm so quote unquote happy that companies are firing people for their unions. And it's like, oh, you want to? That's because it's like you try to take them to court and they get hit with a punishment that's fucking
Hmm.
nothing. Like what's that? There's like a quote that's like, if the punishment for a crime is a fine, it's a poor man's crime.
Right. Let's talk about Gen 5 and Pokemon, how nobody wants a remake. But your remake is actually already here. The DLC for the Blueberry Academy is riddled left, right, and center with Easter eggs that cater to Gen 5 fans. You have areas that are based off maps that were in Gen 5. You have all the music is remixes of that sort of thing. Though they get away from like a lot of the electronic dance music sort of like motif that they had in Gen 5 and Black and White 2. They kind of
Right.
go with their own like homages. Like the overworld music has homages, the battle music has homages. The Terra battles, once you get into those, you'll actually like recognize as like the rustling bush themes. And then like the trainer battles too, yeah.
The rare encounter battle, which was the Audino. That's when you're
Yes.
fighting Audino for leveling.
Grinding it because like the leveling system was quite interesting.
The goofy ass double pronged like, oh, you get reduced experience and also we're increasing how much experience you need to level up. Like, cool. I played through Black and White 1. I never touched Black and White 2 because I was hitting burnout at that point.
Right. The thing about Black and White 1 is, like Diamond and Pearl, it has a lot of flaws that a lot of people feel keep it held back from being a good game. Like, it's a game for Pokemon fans, yes. And you will enjoy it if it's your first Pokemon game, or if it's just something that you're used to. But, like, it was kind of stuck in its time. It's also one of the hardest games to go back to right now because two of the core features, Dream Link and Entralink, are no longer usable in their main forms. I mean, you could still use an Entralink for like some EXP boosts occasionally. Please remember to do that if you do, because like grinding in that game is kind of like ramming your head against a wall.
I remember I was playing that at my I was it was like a around here we have this thing called Academic Super Bowl, which is just like, it's like a competitive quiz for academic stuff in school. I took part in that. I was like one of the math people. I remember doing that with someone else who had the Pokemon game, and we would like play it together, and we would all like give each other buffs as we were playing. And it was like my memories with Pokemon White and Black and White was all over the place because
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot I can say about it, but I don't want to. I don't know how much I can say about it now because it's like my brain is like racking myself, and it's like there's so much I want to talk about. But the thing I remember was like this: the way the story ended was so fucking rad.
People love
You
N.
going,
People love N. They
you
love most of the characters in that game, and like the whole radical shift on the Elite Four in the first one.
where you take out in and you beat you in challenges you at the very end, and he brings out his legendary. You have the legendary now, so you both go at it with them. And when you win, he like takes off on his legendary, and he's like keep going. I want to face you again, and we're going to challenge our ideals again. And then the credits start rolling right afterwards, and it's
Hmm.
like the way it ends is so goddamn strong.
A strong point in the Pokemon series for like plot for sure. I don't know what
It
happened to
was
Gen 6, but Gen 5 got the plot pretty right.
Gen 6. They kind of I saw what they were trying to do with the friend group, and I thought it was pretty neat
I
as an
feel like
idea.
what they did in Gen 6 with the friend group, they actualized later on. For me, that was Gen 7. I feel like Lily and Hao and Gladion and like the whole cast that had going on there, what's going on behind the scenes with Guzma and Lusamine, everything that's just going on in Gen 7 hit right for me. But if you want to ask about the friend group, Gen 9 is where they hit their stride. Going
Right.
with like your friends down to the pit in Area Zero, the walk down there, the whole
But also
theming of
just
it all.
the whole point of the friend group was like each one of them is a different way to play Pokemon. Literally,
Yes.
they're literally each a different way to play Pokemon, which was like, oh, that's a neat idea. Whether or not they succeeded is like, kind of, kinda. I didn't find too much wrong with them, but I was a lot younger than I am now.
Right.
But I liked the idea of them each being that different facet of Pokemon. Like you got the person who's completing the Pokedex, you have the person who's going off on the adventure, you have the person who wants to just catch the Pokemon they like the best, which is like the dancing man, and then you have the person who's trying to become the champion. And you, as the player, basically there's a couple of those like you would do just by playing the game, but you're kind of going for all four of them at the same time. Like
Right.
you're the combination Taco Bell Pizza Hut.
I feel like that could also be paralleled to Scarlet and Violet because, like, you have the student, you have the actual trainer in Nimona, you have, like, Arvin, who has this whole thing about his dad and, like, the whole lost thing in Area Zero. It's a different take on it, yeah. But, like, I think it is pretty unique what you are describing. It can be drawn out a little bit in comparison to other games, but it is, like, a sticking point of Gen 6, I
People
think.
people do give the friend group in six a lot of shit because I like the execution wasn't really good. Typically, from a lot of people, it wasn't very good. But
Mhm.
I did like I, just separated from the actual execution. I thought the idea was good. I thought the idea was neat,
I
and
I think so. Now that we actually talk about it, yeah, I thought it was. I think it's neat the way that we're describing it here.
like yeah, each friend group, each friend person is like, oh yeah, this is one way you can play. I'm basically the dance man, but like my favorites are very specific.
Right.
Otherwise,
Now let's talk about Kieran. Let's talk about while Hop was a pretty strong like rival in Gen 8, Kieran they tried to build up into this rival of Gen 9. He had his arc in Kitakami, where he's just someone who's a trainer that can't catch a Pokemon that he's admired for the rest of his entire life. He's got this vendetta against the main character, and like he's taking his whole rage out on like all of his friends at the Blueberry Academy. So we have this situation where this character could have a big arc that's like showing off like, oh, this is like horrible person. Now we have to actually help him be a little kinder and like put him back in his place and just like make sure things are right. But no, we just kind of ruin his dreams again after we catch. By the way, spoilers. I don't want to fucking freak anyone out yet, but these is going to be spoilers for the DLC of Scarlet and Violet.
oh
Both.
shit, really?
Yeah. We go ahead and just like take his Pokemon from him at the end of his little arc. He gets a Terapagos. He catches it in the Master Ball. He can't control it. The Master Ball fucking breaks in front of him.
Oh
We
my
catch it,
lord.
and he's just like, God, I don't even know what's good anymore. Like, I don't even know how to go on. Like, I'll just start over with this person, I guess, and we'll be friends. It's like trying to be friends with a Goku at this point.
He's so completely lost and confused that he's just
And
like,
you
I need to.
understand that as a player, but like at the same time, like you really wanted to teach him a lesson, and he's just such a stuck-up jerk. He's not a Gary. He's not a Hop.
Not motherfucking Gary Oak popping up at every.
He
He's
had
not
some
trying to bully
expectations, but he
you.
never really kind of lived up to them, if you ask me.
Yeah. Like Gary Oak was a bully. That was his archetype. He was
Mm-hmm.
just a jackass.
Kieran,
And
when
like,
you're
cause like,
like going through the Elite Four of the Blueberry Academy, is just very stuck up. He is aloof, acting so distant, and like when you finally get to him, his fights honestly weren't that hard.
I think that the problem is with a lot of the stuff they're doing in current Pokemon to really bring back the idea of people really want Gary Oak back because he was. The thing about Gary Oak is that he was, like I said, he's a bully. He's an opportunist. Opportunist. He'll ambush you at inopportune times because while you're weakened to kick your ass because he's an asshole. He is a jerk. He is a bully. He is the asshole in your school who's like constantly kicking you while you're down because he's a cunt.
Yeah, smell you later and all that. Yeah.
And that's like the smell you later is like the least of that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he like the whole reason he ambushes you and is a piece of shit is because he's just a piece of shit bully. And I guess they're moving away from that kind of stuff because that's not really how things go these days. And he does like calm down later. Like
Yeah,
just to
exactly.
talk about even the most basic character development, he becomes the gym leader. He becomes the eighth gym leader of Kanto when you get to Gen 2. He does take the eighth. He takes over the Earth badge because Giovanni runs away because he gets his ass kicked by a
Yep.
kid, and he's like,
He's
"Fuck."
in hiding. Yeah, that's what
Like
happened. Yeah.
he's just like, "Fuck, you got to be kidding me." And then like there's plot with that gets revealed in like the remake of Gen 2.
Yep.
Like
The whole
he
Celebi
gets
timeline thing.
where he gets the message from the radio tower when Team Rocket takes it over. He's like, "All right, time to come back. I'm going to go meet up with my team." And then you arrive with Celebi and kick his ass again. And he's like, "Fuck. I'm
Yep.
still not good enough to take on a kid. God damn it. I'm out of here."
Peace.
Peace.
But like going back to Kieran and like the difficulty of the battle. The Elite Four members actually were kind of challenging. One of them actually makes you catch Pokemon in the Blueberry Academy exclusively in like the different biomes in order to fight the trainers leading up to him. That would
Isn't that
be
the
the
one where he's
Dragon
like,
Leader, yeah.
wouldn't it be so fun to cheese this with your beefy Pokemon that you already have or whatever?
A lot of the other features that they added were nice little quality of life stuff. You get a charm that helps with critical catches for like dex completion, which is
I
nice.
love that charm. I think that when was that charm invented? Hang on.
You also get like your little hideout to kind of build stuff with. Oh, you have to actually unlock these starters that you can actually catch in the wild by giving them 3,000 battle points each. And to get those, you just complete little quests and challenges. But if you go online, you can complete them like 10 times faster. Like that's also how you get the legendary Pokemon too. You just complete these quests, and it replaces the old battle point system from like the Battle Tree, the Battle Frontier, the Battle Tower, etc., from like the old games. So those are no longer kind of a thing, but you have like this whole open world game being embraced instead. Like I'm sorry for people who kind of miss the old Battle Towers and things like that. I hope that there's something going forward with that. But like Pokemon's kind of at its best right now when it's just kind of celebrating its best side of itself. So like the nostalgia of Gen 5, some of the uh some of the best times you'll have is just like filling up the decks and collecting, trading, battling.
Yeah, I never enjoyed like
Oh,
the
the double
battle
battles.
tower
The double
stuff.
battles in the DLC were a great move, by the way. Really kind of like
Nice.
makes you think about the uniqueness of how you're approaching teams. You actually feel like seeking out trainers to fight when you're going through the area, which felt great.
Neat. So I'm looking up the different charms. So the catching charm was introduced in Gen 8. You got it from when you beat the game. You could go to the Game Freak the building,
Hmm.
go to the Game Freak room and get it there, which I remember getting, which is why I remember that existing. It's because I played Gen 8.
I skipped
So
Sword and Shield, so you're gonna be my resident expert on that. Can I talk about the Stellar type?
sure.
How about a new type in Pokemon that's not fairy or anything? How about every single type at once, except not really. It just powers up moves for like Terra type gimmick that they have
Okay.
going on right now,
Okay, that
which
just unironically that sounds like Uranium type from that one Pokemon
Pokemon
Uranium fan
Urania. It's
game.
a good fan game, yeah. It's one of my friend's favorites. It's really
Was
good.
I read a something awful Let's Play of that, which it was not very kind. They were very snarky about it, and I could see why. It was also just like they did some of the things they complained about were stuff where I was like, oh yeah, that's very overtuned, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah, but like I don't feel like it's gonna be abused because you only get to use your Terra type for Stellar once per battle.
Right. I was just like thinking about Pokemon Uranium, and there was like one battle that was so overtuned, it was hilarious. Because what it used was they introduced their own Pokemon, which is cool and all, but like the typing for it was like it was a Pokemon that was like exceptionally fast and powerful, like the ultimate glass cannon. Basically meant it was able to handle everything. And then they gave it a Mega Evolution, which made it even faster. And it was so horribly overtuned that like the person who was doing the Let's Play used it to basically like destroy everything until he got to the Elite Four tournament, where it turns out one of the people you can face, which is randomized, has that Mega Evolution and abuses the fuck out of it.
Wow.
So suddenly there's like one Elite Four trainer that is so overtuned that it will wreck you if you aren't also abusing what it's abusing. It's hilarious.
Like SNK boss Pokemon style.
Yeah, the only way to beat the SNK boss is to bring the SNK boss against them. It
Like a
was
Rugal
it
mirror.
was it was not a like that was like the biggest thing where they're like, okay, this game has a big issue here. What the fuck is this?
Oh my god.
What is this bullshit? And it's like even more than usual because it's fucking something awful. Something awful is very sardonic and kind of a trash place at points. Rest in piss, low tax, you fucking abusive whore.
Whatever happened to Face Punch? You remember Face Punch?
I that brings back a mem. It brings to mind something, but it's like I never actually went there. I'm just aware it existed.
Yeah, I went there a couple of times before like NeoGaf and Reset Era were like a thing.
Now it looks like Face Punch is just an indie developer. Birmingham, UK.
Ah, just the DLC is
Yeah.
great. I mean, there's a lot to love and a lot to hate, but like overall, I would approve of it and definitely worth your time. Thank you for listening to this episode. We are hosted on mask31.dev/the-Reddmasq-podcast. You can also find us on Pocket Casts and wherever great podcasts are found.